The National Broadcasting Company presents The Big Show. The first half hour presented by the makers of Reynolds Aluminum, the Reynolds Metals Company, and starring the glamorous, unpredictable Tallulah Bankhead.
So listen, America, we're curtains up, America. We're going to fill your parlor full of stars.
For the next hour and 30 minutes, you will be entertained by some of the biggest names in show business. Such bright stars as
Shirley Booth,
Bill Foster,
Vera Lynn,
Jack Pearl, and
Cliff Hall,
Dick Powell, Earl Wrightson,
Meredith Wilson.
And my name, darlings, is Tallulah Bankhead. Well, darlings, will you excuse me just a moment while I make a personal announcement? Thank you. To the actress who was my guest on the show last week, you walked off with my mink coat and left me yours. Honestly, darling, that's what's happened, honestly. And I can understand why she hasn't returned my coat. She's one of those actresses who likes to make a big impression on everybody, a real eager beaver. And so is her mink coat. Well, I really didn't realize I had on the wrong coat till I put my hand in the pocket and found a strange man's name and his phone number. Well, you know me, darlings. I called him up. To the actress who was a guest on this show last week, if you return the mink coat, I'll return your boyfriend. It's an even exchange, a mink for a skunk. Well, so much for my rap. Now, how about a word or two about some aluminum wrap? Reynolds, of course.
Well, Miss Bankhead, we'll talk about Reynolds Wrap a little later. Right now, I want to mention one question that's often asked of anybody who represents a big aluminum producer like Reynolds Metals. It may be asked by any homeowner or by a man with a workshop or a farmer. And the question is, where can I get a piece of aluminum about so big? Maybe you want it for a drain board or a tabletop or to put behind the stove or the sink. But you want it. And Reynolds now has the answer. It's called Reynolds Aluminum Flashing, a package of 10 stout aluminum sheets, each 18 inches wide and 4 feet long, at hardware and building supply dealers. Flashing, you know, is the metal that's used on your roof to make those valleys that carry the rain down, to prevent leaks around chimneys. And this rust-proof aluminum makes wonderful flashing. But it's also the answer to where can I get a piece of aluminum about so big? It's really expanding the age of aluminum. Reynolds Aluminum.
Well, darlings, I've been quite touched by a little gesture on the part of our stars this week. Somehow or another, they all found out I have a birthday coming up this month. I told them. I'm giving a big birthday party, and I sent them all invitations. And I told them all to drop me a little note saying if they would come to the party. Now, here's the answer I got from Dick Powell.
Dear Tallulah, your invite said your presence requested. So, in a present, I invested. I went and bought you something nifty just for your birthday, age 30.
Dick Powell, the great detective. If I want a lady, I'd punch him right in his private eye. Well, anyway, I have a friend in that darling Vera Lynn. She likes me. She only came over here from England a couple of weeks ago. She doesn't know any better. What am I saying? Well, here's the little note she wrote.
Dear Tallulah, all my friends have questioned me, Vera, what have you bought her? I thought I'd get something from across the sea, but I know how you feel about water.
And I was the one who insisted that Vera Lynn be on the show. Well, next week, East Lynn. Well, there are two nice gentlemen over here who sent me a lovely acceptance note. They're coming to my party. Jack Pearl and his sidekick, Cliff Hall.
For your party, Tallulah, we'll primp and preen, 'cause we know that you will look like a queen. In dresses and slacks, you're awfully cute.
But I want to see you in your birthday suit.
Well, what else is new? We have a wonderful singer on our show this week, a handsome fellow named Earl Wrightson. He wrestled with a little poem and came up with this little ballad.
Oh, I'll be happy to be your guest. Why shouldn't I want to go? But as long as you're throwing a party, could I be the party you'd throw?
Best 2 out of 3, darling. And Meredith Wilson also sent me this nauseating birthday greeting. It goes like this.
I've studied your future in the stars, my dear, from Maine to California. And this will be your greatest year, 'cause you're so Capricorny.
Well, it takes one to know one, doesn't it? That marvelous actress Shirley Booth did a little something extra. She sent me a singing telegram.
Happy birthday, Miss B. Happy birthday, Miss B. Maybe next year you'll be lucky. Happy birthday, Mrs. B.
I've had many chances to get married, I'll have you know, but I'm still waiting for Mr. Wright. But not one of them would put it in writing. And finally, our last guest is Phil Foster. You remember him from last week, darlings. He's awfully cute in a revolting sort of way. And not very bright, let's face it. Well, he didn't even send a card. Why not, Phil?
Well, I brung it with me. Just before I came here, I went in the candy store in the corner and I got the last card they had there. They gave it to me for a nickel cheaper. The envelope was missing.
Well, let's hear it.
To Tallulah, my greetings to you. You are a gem without a flaw. So happy birthday and good luck to my favorite brother-in-law.
Well, the thought is all there, even if Foster isn't. But I'm not going to take this poetry lying down, darlings. I can do a little poetry myself. To Jack Pearl, and Wrightson Earl, and Cliff Hall, and Booth Shirl, and Dick Powell, and Vera Lynn, and darling Meredith Wilson. And to my favorite sister-in-law, the one that's named Phil Forster. To all of you, the party's off, so why don't you all get lost, sir? And now, let's have some music. Meredith Wilson and the boys have whipped up a brilliant arrangement of an American classic, I Don't Know Why I Love You Like I Do. So let's listen to it now. Meredith, darling, if you please.
only time you hold me is when we're dancing. I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just do.
Divine, Meredith, simply divine, darling. That's the kind of music I like. It's so easy to understand. It reaches everybody. Sophisticates like it, and it also reaches the common man, the man in the street.
You coming, kiddo?
Like Phil Foster.
What's the bit, Tallulah?
Well, Phil, I was just talking about Meredith Wilson's orchestra. Did you hear the number they just played?
They're still playing numbers. Wait till Kefauver hears about that.
Darling, this orchestra's on radio, not television. I don't seem to be able to get through to him. Come now, boy, concentrate. Did you like the selection the orchestra played?
Now you ask me. It's too late now. Why don't you ask me before they played it?
Why did I ask you in the first place?
Please, don't say first place to me. I'm a Brooklyn Dodger fan.
Honestly, darling, I don't know why I asked you on this show at all.
Now you're sore.
No, I am not sore.
Tallulah, you're sore.
I am not sore.
Okay, so wipe the steam off your glass and let's go on. Look, the reason I didn't answer you about how I like Meredith Wilson's orchestra is because I'm in the middle of a deal with Meredith. I want to hire him to play for a dance my club's putting on. And if I say I like the music, he'll jack up the price. He's asking too much.
What's he asking for?
Money.
Oh, that old thing. And what are you offering?
Prestige. Yeah, you're laughing. You know what it could mean to a guy like Meredith to play for one of our dancers? The business we'll get from the club alone would make it worthwhile. We have a half a dozen engaged couples that's going to get married, and there's a half a dozen weddings. And we got one fellow in the club who's getting divorced. What a party that's going to be.
Well, look, darling, let me talk to Meredith for you, shall I? I'll be your agent, huh? Oh, Meredith, sweetie, come over here.
Yes, Miss Bankhead.
Meredith, what's this argument between you and Phil?
Well, sir, Miss Bankhead.
Look, Meredith, all I want to do is hire a band. I'm willing to pay $50.
$50? For 47 musicians? I mean 47. Look, Rockefeller, do you realize that these musicians are highly skilled, educated, imaginative, sensitive artists, and have tuxedos and will travel?
Who needs tuxedos? I don't want the musicians to look better than the club members. Look, Meredith, I got another deal for you. If you don't want a straight salary, how about working on a commission?
What kind of a commission?
We'll get a little pail, and we'll put it in front of the band, and when the dancers dance by it, they throw money in it. Okay?
No.
What's the matter? We'll give you 10% of the take.
Well, I know you'll think I'm just money crazy, but for me and the 47 men, the price is at least $100.
$100?
Yes, sir.
What do you think you're playing, a whole week? It's only 3 days.
Well, I've got a better idea. Phil, what's the best you'll pay?
My top is $50.
And you want to blow your top. Okay, darling. Now, why don't you get a jukebox for the dance, huh? It'll cost you $25, and you can give Meredith $25, and he'll lead the jukebox, okay?
Well, that's a good idea, Miss Bankhead.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Then it's all settled.
Oh, just one more thing I need, Miss Bankhead.
Yes, darling?
Could you lend me the $50?
Okay, but I get first crack at the pail. I'd like to give our darling sponsor, the Reynolds Metals Company, second crack at a commercial. They have something to say about saving work in the American home. Though what people ever do with all the work they save, I don't know.
Well, Miss Bankhead, certainly work is not something we want to save up. It's something we want to avoid, especially in today's servantless homes. That's why home appliances have become one of the greatest American industries. Refrigerators, modern stoves, washing machines, food mixers, electric irons, electric roasters, vacuum cleaners, they all have for their purpose easier homemaking, better results with less work. And in all of them, aluminum. Reynolds aluminum plays a great part. Because in anything you handle, aluminum is in itself labor-saving by its lighter weight. In refrigerators, aluminum means faster freezing. In washing machines, Reynolds aluminum tubs never chip, stay clean. And always, aluminum means rust-proof durability. Strong, bright, practically everlasting. The Reynolds Metals Company, as one of America's great producers of aluminum, is proud of its long association with the nation's appliance manufacturers, working with them to save you work through better products made with Reynolds aluminum.
Time now, darlings, to turn our thoughts lightly in the direction of some heavy drama. But before raising the curtain on tonight's epic, it might be considered sporting of me to greet the talented artist who will star in the proceedings, Mr. Dick Powell. Our play tonight is an adaptation of a classic short story by Ben Ray Redmond called The Perfect Crime, in which Mr. Powell stars in the role of the great criminologist, Dr. Harrison Trevor. And so the curtain rises on The Perfect Crime. The time, after dinner. The place, New York home of Dr. Trevor in the East 50s.
And that door leads to my new laboratory. I bought the property next door, converted it. 2 stories high, lab and workroom.
I'd like to see it.
I will save it for later. I'm proudest of a new electric oven. You know, I hear that thing generates more heat than anything outside of an atomic pile. It's capable of reducing a piece of rock to a wisp of steam.
Sounds inviting.
Cigars on the table, cigarettes in the box beside you. Brandy?
Thanks. Say, if I remember rightly, you said at dinner that you believed the perfect crime to be a possibility.
I did, and there's no doubt about it. All you need is the perfect criminal.
Oh, that's the catch, huh? Most murderers are rather foolish.
Foolish? Well, of course they are. You should know, Hare, as a famed criminal lawyer, you've defended enough of them. But barring those who stumble into murder by accident, most killers are outrageous egotists.
And how about great detectives?
Well, most detectives are impossible, I'll grant you. Vain as peacocks. Only a few of them are great. I know only 3. One in Vienna, one in Paris, and the third is...
The third, or rather the first, is in this room?
I'm so glad you said that. I admit it. There's no point in false modesty, is there?
Not at all. It must be tough to maintain that position so soon after the Harrington case. Your work proved him guilty, and the poor guy went to the chair last week, didn't he?
Poor guy? Oh, nonsense. He was a deliberate murderer. But let's get back to that perfect criminal of ours. Now, his crime would have to be murder. That's settled.
Good. We're making real progress.
And ruling out all other possibilities, our man would kill for the sake of art, not of necessity. His idea would be simply to remove another person from circulation.
But why? Motivation.
Simply because he wants the victim dead. He must be absolutely impartial, unemotional, completely lacking in passion. He doesn't even dislike his victim. He does it in cold blood.
Just for the sake of murder?
Oh, there should be some sort of reason, I guess. Let's suppose you'd spent the past 15 years gathering proof and writing down convincing arguments, solving the mystery of the famous ghost ship, Marie Celeste.
Okay, suppose I had.
And I'll suppose that another man had also spent the same amount of time building up proof and arguments, solving the same mystery, but in another way completely, invalidating your so-called proof and arguments. Suppose further that he communicated his proofs to you and had not even mentioned them to anyone else. Now there, you would have a perfect motive and a perfect set of circumstances. Only the method of the murder would remain to be worked out.
Method of murder? For heaven's sake, man.
Well, don't you understand? You would have excellent reasons for eliminating your rival, thereby saving your own proof and arguments from being confounded. And no one, once your rival was dead and the proofs destroyed, could suspect that you had any such motive. You could work with perfect freedom, and you could concentrate on two essentials: the method of the murder and, of course, the disposition of the body.
Disposition of the body?
Oh, very important. Very, very important, old boy. As a matter of fact, I've done a little research along that line.
Yeah, man. What have you found out? No. Surely you don't mean that electric oven.
Not another word. But, I do want to impress upon you that getting rid of the body is perhaps the most important step of all in the commission of the perfect crime. The absence of a body is curiously troublesome to the police. Now, Harrington really should have gotten rid of West's body, although it probably wouldn't have kept him from sitting in the electric chair. He was too careless.
Was he? Oh, speaking of that, it was the Harrington case I chiefly wanted to talk with you about tonight.
Yes?
Yes, you see, I was abroad until last week and didn't even know that Harrington had been arrested until just before I sailed. I was particularly interested because I knew both Harrington and West fairly well, and West's wife even better.
Oh, yes, gorgeous woman. They were separated, and she's been in Europe for the past 2.5 years.
Yes, I know she has, most of the time.
All the time. She wasn't in the United States during that period.
Wasn't she? Well, I last saw her at Monte Carlo, but that's not important at the moment, except to add that she's become addicted to narcotics. But what I want to know is how you tracked down Harrington.
Well, it's really quite simple. There were many easily read clues, footprints, tire marks. But the important one was the gun. A .25 caliber pearl-handled revolver. We found it in Harrington's safe. One shot had been fired, and the weapon hadn't been cleaned since. You'll find all the dull details in the back newspapers.
What kind of a revolver did you say it was?
A .25 caliber, pearl-handled, nickel-finished. It was a rather dainty gun for a guy to use. Harrington seemed embarrassed at owning such a toy.
And well, he might be, Trevor. Was the grip slightly chipped on the right side?
Yes, it was. How the devil did you know?
Why, it got chipped when Alice dropped it on a rock at St. Moritz. The four of us were target shooting back at the hotel.
Alice? What Alice? What do you mean by the four of you?
Alice West. You see, it was her gun, and the four of us were West, Alice, Harrington, and myself.
Her gun? You mean she gave it to him?
I doubt it, much as she loved him. He probably took it away from her too late.
Oh, you're talking in circles. What do you mean?
Just this. That little gun helped to send the wrong person to the chair. Alice West killed her husband.
It's your story. Go on.
Harrington and Alice were madly in love. West knew about it but wouldn't give her a divorce. She stood it just so long, then went down there to Long Island and shot him. Harrington took the rap.
Oh, no. She was in Europe when the murder was committed.
No, I met her in Montreal that month, and Montreal isn't too far from Long Island. That's not the whole story. I met her again in Monte Carlo, and one night she got hysterical and showed me a letter West had written her, a really cruel thing. When I gave it back to her, her eyes were blazing. She grabbed my hand and cried, "What would you do to a man like that? Kill him! Kill him!" I pointed out that somebody already had done that. She burst into a fit of the wickedest laughter I've ever heard. Then she calmed down, powdered her nose, and then said quietly, "It's funny that you can shoot the heads off all the innocent bottles you like and no one says a word. But if you kill a human snake, they electrocute you for it. And I'm not going to sit in the chair, thank you very much."
So, you think I made a mistake?
What do you think, Dr. Trevor?
I don't make mistakes. My reputation doesn't permit that I make mistakes. I simply can't make them, that's all.
No, your reputation isn't going to suffer. The facts won't come out. Alice West will be dead of the narcotics inside 2 years, and no one else knows.
You do?
Yes, I do, but we can forget about that.
Oh, yes, we must. You understand? We must.
Don't worry. Your reputation's safe with me. I'll keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, sure. I know you will. I know you will.
How about a drink?
Oh, you fix them, will you? I've got to go into the laboratory a minute.
All right. Drinks are made. Oh, here you are. I didn't hear you. Hey, what are you doing with that? Going to operate on somebody?
Yes, Hare. You can put down that drink.
Trevor, you wouldn't try to kill me. No.
Yes, Hare. I'm going to kill you calmly and in cold blood.
The commissioner asked me to thank you for all that you've done to help the department in the Hare case, Dr. Trevor. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Inspector. But Hare was more than a case to me. He was my close friend.
Yes, I know. It's too bad, too. A real tragedy.
Yes, and worse than that, so far I've been unable to prove my theory.
Well, it's pretty tough to prove murder when you can't find the body.
True.
Of course, we in the department are inclined to think that maybe Hare did away with himself. Like jumping off the tail end of a ferry boat or something.
No, Kelly. No, I'm absolutely sure of it. Hare didn't commit suicide. He was murdered.
Well, if you say so, it must be so, Dr. Trevor. You've never made a mistake in your life.
Thank you, Dick Powell, your usual suave and exciting performance. Also, our thanks to Martin Blaine and Joseph Bell for a most capable support. I want to talk to you, Dick, but first a word from our sponsor, the Reynolds Metals Company, who knows that during this election year, the air will hum with predictions from the private pipelines of the experts. But Reynolds has a pipeline, too. An aluminum pipeline, of course.
That's right, Miss Bankhead. Pipelines of Reynolds aluminum are an important development. They're rust-proof. They resist corrosion. They're light to haul. In fact, sections can be flown to otherwise inaccessible spots, just as aluminum pontoon bridges are flown in sections where military needs require. Today, of course, these military needs limit civilian supply, including the supply of your favorite Reynolds wrap, the original and genuine, the pure aluminum foil. But there's more aluminum coming from Reynolds and the industry that Reynolds made competitive. Just consider. Aluminum is the only basic material that costs less today than before World War II. And remember, competition is the power behind production and the pressure that keeps price down. Competition started by Reynolds, pioneers of progress through aluminum.
Over here, Dick Powell, and while you're strolling along, darling, I just want to take a fast minute to ring my chimes. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
This is The Big Show, Act Two, and here is Tallulah Bankhead chatting with Dick Powell.
Well, Dick, how's your picture career coming along? It's been years since I saw you and Myrna Law and that cute little dog Astor in those Thin Man pictures.
Tallulah, dear, you're thinking of William Powell.
Oh, of course. How stupid of me. You used to make those musicals when you started in pictures.
That's right, dear. Now you got me.
Do you still dance, Dick?
Tallulah, now you're thinking of Eleanor Powell.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling, of course. What is the matter with me?
I could tell you, but this is only an hour-and-a-half show. Let me give you a little clue. You remember this song in one of my early pictures? Thanks a million thanks to you. Now, do you remember?
Oh, now don't tell me you're Jane Powell.
No, it's the poodle haircut that's fooling you. Look, what's your name again?
I'll save you the trouble, Betty Davis.
What I mean is, you've seen the pictures I've been in recently, those private eye things. You know, they usually go something like this. My name is Richards. Richards. Private Dick. One morning, I was sitting in my office overlooking the Hudson River, which I thought was rather strange because my office is in Chicago. When in walked this beautiful blonde. He was 6 feet 4 inches tall. He walked over to my desk and drew a gun. Made a pretty good drawing of it, too. Before I could compliment him on his artwork, he fell across my desk dead. I accepted the case. You remember me now, the tough, hard-boiled private eye?
Oh, of course. Now I know which Powell you are. Humphrey Bogart.
Lula, maybe I can help you out.
Oh, sure. Come on over, Shirley Booth. Shirley, you know Dick Powell. Of course you do.
Oh, sure.
Well, that's more than he knows. I've been having more trouble explaining to him who he is.
Hello, Shirley.
Hello, Dick. You know, I'm one of your biggest movie fans. Of course, I'm dieting. I certainly enjoyed your acting in that sketch you just did. What was it again?
The Perfect Crime.
Oh, no, it wasn't that bad. You know, I'm quite a mystery fan, and for months now I've been working on a perfect crime, and I'd get away with it, too.
No, you wouldn't. People would notice if I didn't show up here next Sunday.
Oh, no, Tool. I'm talking about a play I wrote where a perfect crime's committed. It's called The Amazing Miss Henderson. I'm thinking of doing it on Broadway. Would you like to play the title role?
Oh, really? I mean, I play the amazing Miss Henderson? Thank you.
Oh, that's all right. Now, as the curtain goes up, you're discovered in bed, dead.
Very funny. I suppose you think I wouldn't take a part like that. I've got news for you. I'll take it. Just to prove no matter what other actress was in the play, and no matter how big her part was, I'd be better off dead.
Well, you said it, Tallulah. I didn't.
Oh, speaking of getting killed in a play, it reminds me of a funny story. Would you like to hear it?
Of course, Dick, darling. Tell it to us.
Well, it's a pretty funny story. When I was with the Warner Brothers, they were making a picture.
And another thing, Shirley. Being able to die realistically on the stage is an art. People are still talking about some of the plays I died in.
Oh, yes, I know. I saw them.
The picture the Warners were going to make was about cowboys and Indians. Did you see?
Now, just a moment, Shirley. If you're trying to say that I flopped in some plays on Broadway, may I remind you that I saw you in the first play you became a hit in, and you played the title role. 3 men on a horse. And you weren't one of the 3 men, if you know what I mean.
Well, you see, this was going to be a big horse opera, but they didn't want to spend too much money on it. So I walked up to one of the Warner Brothers and I said, look, Darryl.
Tallulah, you're getting mad at me, and for no reason at all. You know what I think about you as an actress.
Yes, and how dare you?
I said, Darryl, why don't you make this a super colossal picture? Why don't you use 1,000,000 cowboys and 1,000,000 Indians?
You know, Tallulah, I think of you as one of our most expressive actresses. Gosh, that character you played in The Little Foxes was such a mean woman. It scared me. It was one of the most frightful performances I've ever seen.
Thank you, I think.
And Mr. Warner said he was only going to use 12 Indians and 12 cowboys because he couldn't afford to hire 1,000,000 Indians and 1,000,000 cowboys. And I said, well, I'll show you how you can use 1,000,000 Indians and 1,000,000 cowboys, and it won't cost you anything.
Tallulah, I'm just trying to convince you that I think you're our greatest living actress. There's no one in the theater I'd rather be than you. Honestly. I mean it, honestly.
Oh, no, thank you, Shirley. You know, I really believe you do.
You know, there's a way to use 1,000,000 cowboys and 1,000,000 Indians without spending any money. It's simple. Use real bullets.
Tallulah, if you could be somebody else in the theater, who would you rather be?
I'd rather be dead, darling.
Well, that's what I mean. When the curtain goes up, you're discovered on the stage, dead.
Oh, Shirley, let's not go through that again.
Pretty funny story, Tallulah.
Oh, I'd love to hear it, Dick. Go right ahead.
I just told it.
To whom, darling? Talk up, boy, talk up. Maybe you'd rather sing, huh? How about Meredith Wilson's new song, Laura Lee?
Well, that's a good idea. Because I happen to have had the good luck to introduce one of Meredith's biggest hits. The one that went, darling, you and I know the reason why a summer sky is blue. I hope Meredith has as good luck with Laura Lee.
We shall see. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Dick Powell singing Laura Lee. Meredith, darling, if you please.
Take my heart with you, Laura Lee. Tell me you'll be true, Laura Lee.
Meadowlarks across the way sing from every tree. In their song I hear them say, I love you, Laura Lee. Laura Lee, Laura Lee, take my heart with you. Tell me with your hand in mine that you could love me too. Bells of evening from the hill speak your name to me. Never will my heart be still without you, Laura Lee. Laura Lee, Laura Lee, take my heart with you. Tell me with your hand in mine that you could love me
Beautiful Dick Powell. Beautiful, darling. Still in great voice. And now, I want to say I adore these next artists. Two of the nicest gentlemen in all show business, and two of the finest comedy performers of our time. Mr. Jack Pearl as the Baron, assisted by his sidekick, Cliff Charlie Hall.
Well, Charlie, my goodness, I'm sick. I give you my word.
You're sick?
Yeah.
Where have you been? You're late. You know, what detained you?
Listen, I just had an accident.
You had an accident?
Yeah, just now.
What sort of an accident?
I had a puncture in my tire.
You had a puncture in your tire?
I had a puncture in my tire.
How'd you get the puncture?
I ran over a bottle.
What'd you do?
I ran over a bottle.
You ran over a bottle?
Yeah.
Well, that was carelessness on your part. While driving, didn't you see the bottle?
No. Was in the man's pocket.
Oh,
you see it? And I run over.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Now what's the matter?
Oh, listen.
What is it? What's the trouble?
Oh, my goodness, my hands like needles and pins. It sticks and...
Oh, you know what that is? That's poor circulation.
Is that what it is?
Yes, you ought to do what I do. You know, every morning I take an ice-cold shower. You ought to do that.
Every morning you take what?
An ice-cold shower.
So do I.
You do?
Every
Every morning you take an ice...
Ice cold.
You take one this morning?
No.
Why not?
No hot water.
No hot... Oh, but really, you ought to exercise more. You ought to be interested in sports. Oh, but you don't know anything about athletics, do you?
I don't know athletics.
No.
You know, when I was in college, when I went to college, I was the best football player in the whole world.
You played football in college?
I was the best.
What college did you go to?
Vassar. I never forget it. They love
Vassar's a girls' college.
I know. They turn out some of the finest backs in the country. I know that. I know they got him.
What position did you play?
I was the contortionist. You see,
Who ever heard of a contortionist on a football team?
I was able to run around my own end.
I see.
I used to run around.
You don't even know what a pigskin is for.
I don't know what?
You don't know what a pigskin is for.
Sure I do.
Well, what is it for?
To keep the pig together. I don't know what.
I know a good hobby for you. You ought to take up aviation. Take up flying.
Take it up?
Yes.
You know I know everything about flying?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry,
Sure.
Baron. That's right. You were always the greatest flier in the world.
Yeah, you see, I was... Will you do me a favor?
Yes, certainly.
Push the syllables together, will you please?
Just what do you know about flying?
What I know?
Yeah.
Do you know something? You know I flew my own plane up to yesterday?
Really?
I flew my own plane.
Well, what happened yesterday?
The rubber band busted.
Oh, the rubber band.
But I flew it.
You did,
You know something? You know that I stayed in the air for 21 days
What?
without coming down?
You stayed in the air in an airplane for 21 days.
And I didn't have no gas or no motor in my aeroplane.
Now, wait.
I give you my...
Just a moment. You stayed up in the air in an airplane for 21 days without gas or motor?
Without gas or motor.
Ridiculous. It's against the law of gravity.
I know. This was before the law was passed. And I stayed up there, yes, sir.
You know anything about dirigibles?
You see, sometimes could I have a carbon copy of that? What did you say?
Dirigibles. That's a large craft with compartments filled with hot air and gas.
Now, listen here. Now, you leave my wife out of this.
No. I'm talking about a big inflated balloon.
That's her. Oh, you
Now,
could
look,
see her.
Baron, look, at the risk of appearing critical, I must say that your conversation doesn't make good sense.
Oh, it doesn't make good sense.
No.
But it makes a good living.
Oh, that's right, too.
Listen, I got to ask you something, Charles.
What?
Did I ever tell you about my last hunting trip?
I hope so, yes.
Yeah. You know, I don't like that.
Yeah.
No, I tell you, I was shooting giraffes in Texas.
Oh, no,
When
wait
all
a
of a sudden...
minute. There are no giraffes in Texas.
I know. I shot them all.
Oh, you shot
I never forget this, Charlie.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden, from nowhere, comes a bunch of hippopotamus omnibuses.
them. Wait a minute, a bunch of what?
Hippopotamus omnibuses?
You mean hippopotamus?
Yeah. Took the word out of my mouth.
Yeah, well, anyway, if there were a bunch of them, Baron, the plural of hippopotamus is hippopotami.
So I'm coming from what was that? What?
It's hippopotami, my.
Yeah, I was surprised too.
Oh, you were? Go on with
Then
your
I
story.
never forget this, Charlie. When all of a sudden, from nowhere,
Yeah.
comes an old boy. An old boy run right by
wait a
me.
minute.
And
What in the world is an old boy?
Oh, that's a bird.
It's a bird.
Oh, that's a big bird.
Old boy is a bird?
Yeah, it eats radishes. Well, it eats radishes, onions, garlic, or Limburger cheese.
Yeah.
And when it runs past you...
Yeah?
Oh, boy.
Oh,
no.
I suppose this bird is extinct.
You see, I didn't hear.
I say, I suppose this bird is extinct.
It always did. I don't know.
Why don't you give up these silly adventures and settle down?
Settle down?
Yeah.
Why, I live on a farm now.
You live on a... Well, isn't that strange?
Sure.
I have a farm, too. You have a farm.
I have a farm.
Is that
How
so?
big is your farm?
I have a farm of 300 acres.
I don't like to insult you.
No?
You got a hand of dirt.
Yo-
Just a little handful of dirt.
Oh, yours is bigger, I suppose.
My farm stretches for miles and miles.
Oh, sure. With you, everything stretches.
Yeah, so I'm going to ignore that.
You will go ahead.
I'm going to show you how big my farm is.
Yeah.
You know my nephew?
Yes.
Well, he went to the other side of the farm to milk the cows.
Uh-huh.
Now, Bernie, my little nephew Bernie, was 10, 12 years old. When he came back, he had a wife and 3 children.
Oh, no. Stop that.
And he brought back 9,000 gallons of milk.
How many gallons?
41. Listen, I never...
Wait a minute. How did the milk go from 9,000 gallons to 41?
That's good. So
Wait, answer my question.
Forget.
Just a moment.
Yeah?
How did the milk go from 9,000 gallons to 41?
I condensed it.
Oh, you
condensed it? Mr. Smart Alex.
You go in for chickens?
Oh, please. Not at my age.
No. No, I mean poultry.
Poultry? Oh, you mean, those kind of chickens?
Yeah.
Sure. I got on my farm 60,001 chickens.
60,000?
60,001 chickens.
How many?
You can't condense chickens.
Oh, that's right.
No, I got 60,001 chickens, and every day I get 60,000 eggs.
Well, what happened to the superfluous one?
Are you saying you spit all over his what?
No,
is
I
it?
didn't.
What is it?
I said, what happened to the superfluous one?
Oh, the other one?
Yeah, look, wait a minute. You said you had 60,001 chickens, is that right? And every day you get 60,000 eggs. Well, what happened to the odd one?
He's the bookkeeper. He keeps the book, yeah.
Look, Baron, do you ever go in for any agricultural experiments like Luther Burbank?
Luther Burbank?
Yeah, Luther Burbank.
Who is that?
Well, the plant wizard. Don't you know that he used to cross vegetables and fruit?
Is that so?
Well, Burbank took a lemon seed and an orange seed and got a grapefruit.
Is that so?
Sir, he took a watermelon seed and a cucumber seed and got a cassava.
Is it? You think that's something?
No, it's nothing, huh?
You know what I did?
No, what did you
Now
do?
listen, I took a banana,
Yeah.
a cucumber, then I took 6 frankfurters,
Yes.
I took 6 oysters,
Yeah.
and a quarter sour cream.
Yeah.
Ha! What do you think I got?
I don't know. What did you get?
Acute indigestion.
Yeah.
And I never forget.
Where did you learn all this farming?
Oh, I learned it from my cousin Hugo.
Hugo?
Hugo.
I thought your cousin Hugo was an orchestra leader, a musician.
Well, he's got an orchestra too.
Oh, yeah?
He's got the biggest orchestra in the world.
Oh, he would.
1,000 men.
1,000?
1,000 men.
That's right.
On 200 violins.
He's got 200 what?
Violins?
No, you mean violin.
Violin.
Violins. Vi.
He likes them.
Oh, he likes them.
He likes violins.
Yeah.
And he's got 15 hobos.
No, oboe.
Bums. he's got.
Never mind the musician.
I
What
can't-
does he know about farming?
Farming?
Yeah.
You know Hugo's a very strong fella.
Oh, he's strong, huh?
He's got a neck like a stovepipe.
Oh, big?
No, dirty.
Dirty, yeah.
See that neck? You know, I gotta tell you
Tell
about
me
it.
about the farm. Never mind the name.
You know he's got 20,000 bulls on that farm?
Ooh, that's a lot of bulls.
Yeah, so that. I said he's got 20,000 bulls
That's what you said. I heard.
on 2 cows.
Wait a minute. 20,000 bulls and only 2 cows?
It's a man's world,
Yeah,
you know.
Thank you, Jack Pearlingcliff Hall. It's always supremely hilarious. And now it's time for our talented English singing star to come forward. In the 2 short weeks since she arrived here from London and appeared on The Big Show, she has created quite a furore with her distinctive singing style and her charming, personable manner. Here she is again, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Vera Lynn. Well, sweetie, how's it doing, huh? How's it going? You're not homesick for England, are you?
Well, as a matter of fact, Tallulah, the first few days I was quite homesick. But I found a way to cure it.
Oh, how's that, darling?
Well, every evening around 4 o'clock, I go down to the subway.
To the subway?
And I watch the changing of the guards.
Oh, well. Well, if you've been riding the subway, you must know your way around New York.
Well, I do a little, but New York's so large, I just can't get used to what you call the boroughs.
The boroughs? Oh, they're quite similar to what you have in London, you know. They're sort of like sections. For instance, Manhattan here is like your Westminster. The Bronx here is like your Whitechapel. Richmond is like Kingston-on-Thames. Queens is like your Hampstead. And Brooklyn, well, darling, you have, well, darling, you have anything quite like Brooklyn over there.
I don't get it.
Well, never mind, darling. Vera, I see your Prime Minister, Mr. Churchill, is back here again. He must have a lot of important business to transact here in New York.
Oh, yes, Tallulah. After all, New York is the second largest city in the British Empire.
And I suppose your song tonight is Wishing Will Make It So.
Oh, no, I'm going to sing something else.
No, darling, that was just a joke. You see, you said New York is the second largest city in the British Empire, and I said I suppose your song is Wishing Will Make It So, meaning that you wish New York were in the British Empire. Oh, dear. It's a little thing we call ad-lib over here.
Oh, that is jolly, Tallulah.
She finally got it.
Yes, we have nothing like Brooklyn.
Well, you certainly muffed that one, baby. Well, now, my little English muffin, how about a song? Ladies and gentlemen, the thrilling voice of Vera Lynn, accompanied by Meredith Wilson, the chorus and orchestra, in a dramatic rendition of Bless This House. Meredith, if you please, darling.
Bless this house, our Lord, we pray. Make it safe by night and day. Bless these walls so firm and stout, keeping want and trouble out. Bless the roof and chimney tall, let thy peace lie over all. Bless this door, that it may prove ever open to joy and Bless these windows shining bright, let in God's heavenly light. Bless the hearth a-blazing there with smoke ascending like a prayer. Bless the people here within, keep them pure and free from sin. Bless them all, that we may be fit, O Lord, to dwell with thee. Bless us all, that we one day may dwell, O Lord, with thee.
Brava, Vera Lynn, brava. What a lot of feeling that girl gets into her voice. Doesn't she, Shirley?
Oh, she's wonderful. You know, singers fascinate me.
I do, darling.
No, I mean real singers.
What?
Well, I mean, I've studied singers and their various ways of putting over songs. I can tell what a singer actually feels when she sings a song.
Oh, really? Well, see if you can tell what I feel when I sing. I'll be singing in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces. Well, what do I feel?
Well, you sound like you feel your shoes are too tight.
I suppose you can do better.
With my mouth tied behind my back.
This I'd like to hear. What are you going to sing, honey child?
Oh, my sin.
Well, confession is good for the soul. Go ahead, Shirley. Meredith, if you can stand this, so can I.
My sin was loving you, not wisely but too well. Your sin was letting me and getting me in your stead. Yes, Paul, I loved you not wisely but too well. That was my sin. Your sin was letting me love you. And all the time you were saying to me, get L-O-S-T. Drop D-E-A-D. But you had me under your spell. I loved you too well, and I stuck around until one day that proposal of marriage on bended knees. You turned me down. Again and again I proposed. I just loved you too well. It was easy getting down on my knees to you. Getting up was the hard part. And then one night I said jokingly, I'll play your hand of gin rummy to see if you marry me or not. And to my surprise, you said you'd play. Remember, Paul? Our marriage was the stake. And you said, let's bet a quarter on the side just to make it interesting. I went gin on the second card. You won me. And then you wanted to play another hand to get even. You refused to marry me. You said the cards were stacked, but I wasn't. But the real reason was that you were so ambitious. Remember, you were studying law? You wanted to be the greatest criminal lawyer in the country. And then came your first big case. The way you handled it was criminal. It was my brother. Him and his wife were separating, and she wouldn't give him his half of the furniture. Remember? You got him the chair. That's when you left me. I didn't see you again for a couple of years. And then one day I met you on the street, and you told me how much you missed me, and you asked me to come home with you and meet your family. That's when I met your wife and 2 children. Oh, Paul. Now my sin is wanting you, though you
Oh, darling. You're wonderful, Shirley. Thank you so much, darling. And now, before we go to Act 3, this is a good spot to take a moment to ring my silver anniversary chimes.
3 chimes of silver.
NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
This is The Big Show, Act 3. This portion brought to you by Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor, and Beeman's Pepsin, the gum that's great to chew and good for your digestion, too. By Chesterfield. Sound off for Chesterfield. Get something new, something no other cigarette has. Chesterfield mildness plus no unpleasant aftertaste. And by Anacin, for fast relief from pain of headache, neuritis, and neuralgia. And now, before we go back to Tallulah, here's something of interest to you.
For breathless moments, for your breathless moments.
Chew Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor.
Dentine tastes so good.
Dentine freshens your breath.
Dentine helps keep your teeth sparkling clean and white.
Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor.
Before you go out, and always after eating, drinking, smoking, refresh your breath with Dentine. You'll love Dentine chewing gum, for Dentine has a wonderful, tingling, nippy flavor that lingers on and on. It's delicious. And remember, Dentine helps keep your teeth white, too. Keep Dentine handy. You'll enjoy refreshing your breath when you chew Dentine.
So, for breathless moments, for your breathless moments,
Chew Dentine, the gum with breathtaking flavor.
And here again is Tallulah Bankhead.
Thank you, Ed Hurley. You know, darlings, I just noticed how tall and attractive that Ed Hurley is. He's been around here for about a year and a half now, and I just noticed him for the first time. Well, as a matter of fact, we've had several attractive men on the show the past few weeks, but I hadn't been paying much attention to them. Well, you know me, darlings. I decided I'd go to see my doctor to find out what's the matter with me. Well, it was time for my annual checkup anyway, you know. I always have my annual checkup every 3 years. Well, I had a long chat with my doctor, and I'm happy to report that he's going to be all right. It was last Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock, I think. Yes, I got there at 4 because the doctor had asked me to come before breakfast. I walked right into his office, and I said, oh, good morning, doctor. Let's not waste time. I'll take off my blouse, and you can see where it hurts me. It's this shoulder right here. There we are. See where it's inflamed? What? Well, I beg your pardon. You're the window cleaner. Well, I thought it rather odd that you should be on the other side of the window. Now, by the way, darling, you missed a spot on that window. No, not there. Now, watch it, darling. You're 16 floors up. Be careful. Oh, goodbye, darling. Well, that's what he gets for stepping back to admire his work. Oh, there you are, Doctor. I'm so glad to see you. I simply ache in every joint. What's that? Stay out of those joints? Very funny, darling. Now, how about those x-rays you took of me last week? Are they ready? Oh, these? Aren't they ghastly? But at that, I look better on x-ray than most of my friends look on television. Are these all there are? I ordered half a dozen. Oh, I see. And what do they all mean? Take this one, for instance. What part of me is that? It is? Oh, so that's why my voice sounds like that. And these are the best ones you took? Well, with all due respect to your ability as a doctor, I must say you're a lousy photographer. Well, it's quite obvious. You just haven't captured me, that's all. I beg your pardon, it's not my fault at all. I mean, I told you when you took these that I look my best when I'm smiling and laughing. There isn't a part of me in any of these that's laughing. Now tell me, doctor, what are these little 6 little doodads here? Here, right here. Oh, they're my toes. Well, doctor, what do they all add up to? Not my toes, I mean the x-rays. Did you find anything? Nothing serious? Oh, well, I'm sorry, doctor, I tried. Perhaps another sitting? Oh, I see, no retakes. What? That cloudy spot right there, what do you mean? What does it mean? I mean, what do you mean, what does it mean? How should I know? Rain, I suppose. Oh, you want that to clear up? Oh, no, doctor, not that awful medicine, darling. I simply cannot tolerate that obnoxious stuff. It's the only way to clear up that cloudy spot. Well, wouldn't it be simpler if you just touched up the x-ray? Well, I don't care. I mean, let the cloudy spot stay there. Maybe it'll go away in the spring. What do you mean, take care of myself? And what'd you say? No drinking? And no late hours? In bed by 9? No nightclubs? No dancing? Hot milk? Yes. Plenty of water? Yes. I see. And if I don't, doctor? I won't live to be 40. Oh, you darling doctor, goodbye. Thank you, darling. And I'm happy to say that the doctor gave me a clean bill of health. Well, not exactly a clean bill of health. He gave me a bill to clean me out. But on my way out of the doctor's office, I saw some x-rays framed on the wall of some of the most beautiful vocal cords I've ever seen. I just had to meet the owner of those vocal cords, and luckily they came in a very attractive package, and he's with us today. The brilliant young baritone whose voice has thrilled many a TV and concert fan, Earl Wrightson. Earl, you've practically spent your entire life around here at NBC, haven't you? Didn't you start here as an usherette or something?
I was a page boy.
Yes, darling, that's what I mean.
I was quite a staff of page boys I worked with. We had Dick Hames working as a page, Gordon McCrae, Ingrid Bergman, Dave Garroway.
Ingrid Bergman is a page boy?
I just wanted to see if you were paying attention. I'm kidding about her, but Hames and Garroway and Gordon, we were all page boys together, taking people on tours through Radio City and all that.
Well, at least you got somewhere, didn't you, darling?
And the producer of this show, Dee Engelbach, he was a page boy here with me, too.
Really? Well, I wondered why he's been charging me 75 cents to guide me from my dressing room to the stage. Oh, there he is back there in the glass bowl. See him? He's the third fish from the left. Well, I fixed myself good, didn't I? Oh, tell me, Earl, about this song you're going to do, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Isn't that from a picture?
Yes, it's from a wonderful musical comedy fantasy called Where Do We Go From Here? The music was by the late Kurt Weill and the lyric by Ira Gershwin.
Oh, yes, a marvelous movie. I remember the scene now. It's on Columbus's flagship, the Santa Maria, and the sailors are about to mutiny. And now with the boys in the chorus, as the mutineers, Earl will try to talk some sense into their heads. Meredith, darling, if you please.
This trouble you're brewing, you should be undoing. You fellas don't get the idea. The future you're failing if you don't keep sailing the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. You're just being dumb not to know that you'll come to a land that's the world's panacea. No laurels you'll rest on if you don't keep west on the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria.
The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. Let's not argue with him. We like the waltz rhythm. The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria.
What traffic terrific from Maine to Pacific. What hustle and bustle you'll see. What rivers, what valleys, if nobody dallies on Nina and Pinta and Santa Maria. The girls are breathtaking. What claims you'll be staking. So you're barking up the wrong tree. What pictures you'll pin up if you keep your chin up on Nina and Pinta and Santa Maria.
If we keep our chin up, what pictures we'll pin up on Nina and Pinta and Santa Maria.
There'll be 48 states and 150 million residents, and George Washington will be the first of many presidents. There'll be cities like Chicago, New York, New Haven, and Hartford, and Minneapolis. Not to mention Hollywood, the global cinematropolis. And oh, my hearties, what fun and what parties! The Democratic Party and the GOP, the Prohibition Party and the Boston Tea. What a wonderful land in which to be living, where you celebrate the 4th of July, St. Patrick's Day, and Thanksgiving. And if you want an extra day off, what you're doing to Columbus is a way off. For the man you want to betray can give you not only Columbus Circle and Columbus, Ohio, but also Columbus Day. So think twice, my friends, before you doubt Columbus. Just imagine what happens to posterity without Columbus. No Bronx with its zoo, no big show for Toulouse. No automat nickels, no Heinz and his pickles, no land of the brave and the free. Just think what you're losing if west you're not cruising the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. No Radio City, and who'll feed the kitty at Belmont Park and Hialeah? But you'll be unveiling the new world by sailing the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria.
You certainly sold us on all you have told us. It's more than romantic across the Atlantic. The new world we're failing if we don't keep sailing the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria.
That's Earl, Wrightson. You're magnificent, darling. Divine. But now, let's hear Bing Crosby sound off for Chesterfield.
Sound off, sound off, sound off for Chesterfield. From Seattle to Buffalo, Chesterfields are on the go. More smokers are buying them every day. From New Orleans to Santa Fe, Chesterfield. 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 Milder, 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 milder. Chesterfield. That's right. Yes, Chesterfield is something new. No other brand can offer you. Mildness plus no aftertaste. No unpleasant aftertaste. Mildness plus no aftertaste. Mildness plus no aftertaste. No unpleasant aftertaste in Chesterfield. That's right. From smart nightclub to country store, the folks are buying them more and more. Go north, go south, go east, go west. It's Chesterfield you like the best. Here's what we want you to do. Right now. Yes, here's what we want you to do. Right now. Sound off. For Chesterfield. Sound off. For Chesterfield. Try a pack of Chesterfields. Do it today.
And here again is Tallulah Bankhead.
Well, we received so many letters last week when Phil Foster was on the show that we asked him back again for another hilarious monologue. Here is the suave, sophisticated man of the world, which in his language is Brooklyn, Phil Foster.
So, what do you want to do? Last week, if you remember, I spoke about how my mother was trying to get me married, and all she kept yelling was, get married, get married, get married, get married. So this week it finally happened. My mother went out and got married. But not me. Fellas, single fellas, listen to me. All the women are trying to marry you. That's the way they are. They got to marry you. And I'll give you a couple of instances, what to look out for. Sometimes you're home, the phone rings. You pick up the phone and it's a girl. She says, very nicely, listen, Phil, I was just taking a shower and the phone rang and I couldn't get to it in time. Was it you? Was it you? You haven't spoken to her in 10 years. Oh, it's another girl. I like the girl that gives you a beautiful call, something like you take her out for 6 or 7 times. She says, listen, you take me out 6 or 7 times now, and what are your intentions? Because people are beginning to talk. So you say, who's talking? She says, my mother, my father. Or, I like the girl who tries to impress you that she's a home girl. You know, she says, you want to come home for a real home-cooked meal that I cooked myself? So, and I know because it happened to me. So I went to the girl, I went over the house, I had a wonderful meal. At the end of the meal, I finally popped the question. I asked her, where's the bicarbonate of soda? And I got friends, boy, of long years standing, all of them are married. And they hate me. Because I'm single and happy and they married and so miserable. So they hold meetings. I'm the agenda. All they keep saying is, how come he got away? In school he wasn't so smart. So they keep getting me dates. My phone rings and this is what it sounds like. Philly, if I got a date for you. I never saw 2 people mate for each other like you with this girl. Just your type. Lately, this is beginning to bother me. What my friends think is my type. They've got me dates with girls who've been short, tall, fat, small, ugly, redheads, blondes, brunettes, and lately a new color, plaid. Just to let you know, over a cup of coffee at the end of the evening, the conversation was always turned to where the girl says, how come a nice fella like you is still single? When you was younger, you was hurt by a woman? And the fellas I know keep saying one thing, Phil, nothing like being married. You get the right woman in the house, Phil. That's it. And who should know better than me? Remember how I ran around when I was single? Now that I'm married, you can't get me out of the house. He's right, he's chained. I only got one friend who's honest. All he ever says to me is, Phil, don't get married. Phil. Listen to me. If a girl should just ask a simple question like, how do you feel? There's only one thing left to do. I said, what is that? He said, re-enlist. Or throw yourself under a truck. The pain is sudden. Remember, Phil, in the old days when I was single, every Friday night we used to go to the fights? Every Friday night we used to go to the fights. Now it's a fight every night. Win or lose, I lose. But I got 2 kids, Phil. 2 kids. Such monsters you'll never see again. Stay up nights figuring new ways how to torture me. I remember in the old days, a kid would get in trouble. He'd say to his father, don't hit me! Don't hit me! I'll run away! Today, a kid gets in trouble. He says to his father, take it easy, Dad. We'll get rid of you. And they can do it. They got chemistry sets. What are you clowning? These kids today are brilliant. I got a little nephew came over to me and said, Uncle Phil, is it true that we all come from dust? I said, yes. He says, is it also true that when you die, you go back to dust? I said, yes. He said, well, you better come up to my room and look under the bed. There's somebody either coming or going. Tallulah, I want to thank you very much for allowing a single guy to talk on a single girl's program.
When we ask you to try Anacin for the relief of pain due to a headache, neuritis, or neuralgia, we are not asking you to try a new or unproved method. For there are many people listening in now who have been introduced to Anacin tablets by their own dentist or physician. You who have received Anacin this way know the effective, incredibly fast relief these tablets bring. Anacin is like a doctor's prescription. That is, Anacin contains not just one, but a combination of medically proven active ingredients in easy-to-take tablet form. People by the thousands are using modern Anacin today instead of other ways. Doesn't their experience seem worth following? Try Anacin the next time you suffer pains from headache, neuritis, or neuralgia. You'll be delighted with the results. Ask your druggist for Anacin today. Anacin is spelled A-N-A-C-I-N.
Well, Shirley, how are you making out? Enjoying yourself, baby?
Oh, yes. Isn't that Bill Foster great?
Divine.
I noticed he's been on the show 2 weeks in a row now. They're not grooming him to replace somebody, if you know what I mean.
You mean me, I suppose? I laugh. How can you possibly entertain such a ridiculous notion? Replace me? You must be joking. It's too fantastic even to discuss. Somebody replacing me on this show, indeed. You must be losing your marbles, darling. I simply refuse to talk about it anymore. It's utterly and absolutely ridiculous. Did you hear anything, Shirley? I mean, I know you've been listening to somebody. Who have you been listening to? Shirley, tell me, Shirley, who's been talking? Somebody's been talking. Have you been listening? Who is it, Shirley? Somebody's been talking. Who is it? Who is it?
So far, only you.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I didn't mean to say those things. I acted like a fool.
Well, as usual, you gave a very convincing performance.
Well, I deserve that, Shirley, because I detest those actresses who are always so nervous and jumpy about their careers. Did you ever see 2 of them meet on Broadway some afternoon? They're so glad to see each other. Well, hello there. I'm so glad to see you. If it isn't Grace.
No, it isn't Grace. It's Alice.
Of course, Alice. I'm sorry, darling.
Oh, that's all right. How have you been, Helen?
Oh, wonderful, simply wonderful. I'm in the pink.
Yeah, I can see it in your eyes.
Oh, you're going to be in a new play, aren't you, Grace?
Alice. No, I'm not in a new play.
Oh, now, Alice, don't lie to me. What is it, darling? A play about the Revolutionary War? That's a wonderful costume they gave you to wear.
Oh, this happens to be my new mink coat.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Grace.
Alice.
It's lovely, Alice. Well, I mean, it's so different, darling. I mean, I've seen the brown mink and the blue mink and the platinum mink, but yours is really different. A bald mink, isn't it?
Well, it takes one to know one. What you're wearing. You'll wear it a long time. They say they have 9 lives.
Isn't she sweet? What are you doing these days?
Well, I just finished a play, you know. Didn't you see me in my last play?
I hope so. You've heard the good news about me, of course. I'm going to the coast.
In the middle of winter? What on earth are you going to do in Far Rockaway at this time of the year?
Sour grapes.
Alice.
All right, sour Alice. But I mean, I'm going to the coast, a C-O-S-T, Hollywood.
Oh, you've no idea how glad I am for you, Helen.
Yes, I have, but I forgive you. You know, I've had offers before, but I've been holding out for my price, you know, darling.
Yeah.
But only last year I turned down a Hollywood contract for 5 figures.
For 5 figures? Well, why on earth did you turn it down? You certainly have them. Didn't you get a good deal out there?
Oh, my darling, it's absolutely fantastic the way they shovel the money at you out there. You could have Broadway, Alice. I've had it.
Yes, and vice versa. But Broadway's been wonderful to me. I've seen so much action. You can't guess how many offers I've had in plays for the last month. Just try to guess. Come on, guess. Go ahead, guess. Guess how many offers I've had.
None.
None. Oh, what a sense of humor. I'll admit it was tough for some actresses. What with this playwright, you know, writing a play for his wife to star in, and that one writing a play for his niece, and one writing a play for his daughter.
Nobody's writing a play for grandmothers, are they, darling?
Oh, is that why you're going to Hollywood?
Isn't she sweet? But I only hope you make the money on Broadway that I'll be making in Hollywood.
Oh, I don't have to worry about money, darling. In 5 years, my annuities start coming in.
Oh, yes, of course. Everybody gets that when they're 65. Well, I must run along, darling. I hope I'll see you soon.
Oh, I'll see you Thursday, won't I?
Thursday? Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, and try to get there early, will you, Helen? You know how crowded it gets in that unemployment insurance line.
Well, those are 2 actors I hope we never meet, Shirley. Don't you agree? Well, we're much too good friends to carry on like that, aren't we, baby?
Yes, that's right. You know, one of the most important things in the world, whether it's show business or any business, is real friendship.
You said it, Shirley.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, ours will still be hot. La-da-da-da-da-dig-dig-dig.
Okay, darling, if you want to take the first chorus.
Don't mind if I do, friend. If you're ever in a jam, here I am. If you're ever in a mess, SOS. If I ever say the North really beat the South, shut my mouth.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, ours will still be hot. La-da-da-da-da-dig-dig-dig.
Well, Tallulah, are you in voice?
Am I in voice? Stand back, Buster. If you're ever up a tree, phone for me. If you're ever down a well, ring my bell. If you ever lost your teeth and you're out to dine, borrow mine.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgate, ours will still be great. La-da-da-da-da, chuck-chuck-chuck.
How about splitting one between us, pal? Be my guest.
If you're ever on TV, send for me.
If you ever need a note, use my throat.
If I ever find that I'm running short of dough,
You know where you can go.
Friendship,
friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forget, ours will still be it. La la la, hep hep hep. Good evening,
Well, darlings, that's our show for this week. Be with us next week, won't you? When the big show will present Fred Allen, James Barton, Bob and Ray, Victor Borger, Tony Bavard, Jack Carson, Portland Hoffer, Vera Lynn, and others, and of course our very own Meredith Wilson and the Big Show Orchestra and Chorus. Until then, may the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near or far away. Vera.
May you find that long-awaited golden day today. Shirley.
May your troubles all be small ones, and your fortunes 10 times 10, Jack.
May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. Meredith?
May you walk with sunlight shining and a bluebird in every tree. Dick?
May there be a silver lining back of every cloud you see. Phil?
Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrow. Never mind what might have been. Cliff?
May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. Earl?
May you long recall each rainbow, then you'll soon forget the rain. May the warm and tender memories be the ones that will remain.
Fill your dreams with sweet tomorrows. Never mind what might have been.
May the good Lord bless and keep you until we meet again.
May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again.
And Godspeed to our armed forces everywhere. Good night, darlings.
This portion of The Big Show has been brought to you by Dentyne, the gum with breathtaking flavor, and Beeman's Pepsin, the gum that's great to chew and good for your digestion, too. By Chesterfield, sound off for Chesterfield. Get something new, something no other cigarette has. Chesterfield mildness plus no unpleasant aftertaste. And by Anacin for fast relief from pain of headache, neuritis, and neuralgia. The first half hour of The Big Show is presented by the makers of Reynolds Aluminum, the Reynolds Metals Company, who also bring you the Kate Smith Evening Hour on the NBC television network. The Big Show is produced and directed by D. Engelbach and written by Goodman Ace, Selma Diamond, George Foster, Mort Green, and Frank Wilson. The chorus is directed by Ray Charles. Special musical arrangements by Sidney Fine and Phil Moore. This is Ed Hurley. He's saying good night. Enjoy Mirth and Music with Bill Harris and Alice Faye next on NBC.